Welcome back. We are here looking at the ETFs, and this is going to be my daily forecast for Wednesday, May 5th, 2021. If you'd like to support the channel, you're welcome to hit the subscribe button down here in the corner, hit the like button and the bell button to see our news videos, and you're welcome to join us over at Patreon. The link is down below. So let's start by looking at ARKK Innovation ETF, and as you can see, this has basically been tumbling since we got towards the 50-moving average here last week, and now we basically breached the 200 moving average and are rallying just about it. We're trading at 112.80 at this point and are pulling back at the end of the session. If you look at technical indicators, they are very bearish indeed. MACD is bearish, the stochastic is bearish, CCI is really bearish, and the RSI is on the edge of being oversold. We are significantly overstretched here in the Bollinger Band, and this is basically an area where we have been testing basically before. We could drop even further down to 108. That's basically where we were only a few weeks ago or months ago, and that is probably as far as this will go. But I would be surprised if we broke the 200 moving average. If we break the 200 moving average, we could also drop probably towards the 300 moving average all the way down here at 95. But as to be seen, 200 moving average is still holding, and as we are really overstretched here in the Bollinger Band, usually it pulls back towards the middle before going lower. If we stabilize here, then we could basically rally up towards the 50. That has been major resistant in the past. So let's look at DVI. So DVI is rallying. We are up quite a bit, 0.31% at this current stage. And technically, we are also getting very overstretched here, so a pullback could be expected. If you look at technical indicators, we can see that the MACD is rallying, the RSI is simply flat at this point, CCI is bullish and stochastic is bullish, so momentum is definitely to the upside, but we are barely overstretched here on the edge of being oversold. So a pullback towards the middle of the Bollinger Band or the lower trend line, that could be possible before going higher. As we saw here, when we got outside, we basically pulled back, and so on and so on. Historically, when we got into the top, it has basically pulled back towards the middle and so on. So that could be what we are seeing here. But when in a day where the market is basically down significantly, it's quite impressive that this is rallying. So let's look at VTI. So this is not doing as well. So Vanguard is basically down 2.32% at this current stage. We have reached the middle of the Bollinger Band. We headed towards the bottom and basically are trading right underneath the middle of the Bollinger Band. If you look at technical indicators, they are all turning around. So the MACD is crossed the signal line, becoming bearish. The RSI is bearish. The CCI is becoming bearish, approaching minus 100. Stochastic is very bearish, and it looks like this is a run towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band. That is at 212, and that means that we'll probably test the 40 exponential moving average. If that breaks, then we have the 50 underneath here, and we have occasionally basically broken the 50 moving average. We have never really tested the 100 moving average. We have to go all the way back to November last year in order to see a testing of the 100 moving average. So there's a lot of support underneath, and buyers will most likely come in when we get close to 212 range. So let's look at MCHI. So also here, we're continuing to break down. We're down more than 1%. If you look at technical indicators, they are all bearish at this point. MACD is crossing the signal line. RSI is bearish, CCI is bearish, and the stochastic is also bearish. So we are approaching basically the limit here. We got to the very top and have been falling roughly 4.6% to the downside, and we are testing the 200 moving average at this point. So we did test it here, stayed for 3 days, and then rallied up towards the 100 moving average, and it is to be seen. If the 200 moving average breaks and we get a closing below the 200 moving average, then we could drop all the way down to the 300 moving average, but that looks quite far away at this point. But keep in mind, technical indicators are pointing to lower levels. Momentum is definitely to the downside. To the upside, 50 moving average at 83.7 should be major support resistant. So let's look at IVV. So we have also fallen here quite a bit. So we have basically breached that 20 exponential moving average and then rallied above that. If you look at technical indicators, we can see that the MACD is very bearish, the RSI is bearish, the stochastic. The CCI is heading towards -100 and also very bearish, and the stochastic is very bearish indeed. So we're right here at the middle of the Bollinger Band. We are just underneath it, trading at the 415, and we are most likely going to test the lower part of the Bollinger Band, considering that momentum is definitely to the downside here. The rallies will most likely find major resistance up here at this trend line. I will give or take 426. So that is quite far off at this point. So hope you find this helpful. You're welcome to support the channel by subscribing, hit the like button and the bell button to see our newest videos, and you're welcome to join us over at Patreon. The link is down below. Good luck and thank you very much.